여보세요. All right. Moon Byul, the, of course, lead rapper for MAMAMOO, with Cheese in the Trap. Now, knowing what I do know, right, I kind of maybe know what to expect, but then again, you never can be too sure. So, I'm gonna go ahead and check this one out, and let's see what she, obviously, I think there's going to be, what with trap being in the title, and then Moon Byul also being the main rapper, that's why I think I know what's gonna go down here, but let's see.
발버둥 쳐봤자 넌 도가내든지 원래 달콤한 건 유해해 뿌리치기 힘든 유혹해 남의 떡이 그게 보이네 어떡해 꽤 모르게 슬금슬금 갉아먹을 거야 운명 같은 건 없어 사랑을 빼앗아 She's in the trap 너의 심장을 탓탓탓 이런 trap 사랑에 빠질 땐 우연인 척 연기할래 네 취향을 저격 I'm gonna make your mind 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 내게 빠졌어 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 내게 빠졌어 취향을 저격 매력에 빠진 걸 부끄럼쟁이처럼 내 보람 빨갛게 치즈하고 웃어봐 때론 시크하게 내 머릿속에 가둬 사방이 막힌 벽이야 물음표 한가득 차려줄게 넌 그냥 맛있게 먹으면 돼 원래 달콤한 건 유해해 뿌리치기 힘든 유혹해 남의 떡이 그게 보이네 어떡해 꽤 모르게 슬금슬금 갉아먹을 거야 이젠 네 자리는 없어 언제로선 She's in the trap 너의 심장을 탓탓탓 이런 trap 사랑에 빠질 땐 우연인 척 연기할래 네 취향을 저격 I'm gonna make your mind 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 내게 빠졌어 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 내게 빠졌어 취향을 저격 매력에 빠진 걸 뺏고 싶은 건 처음이야 난 나만 생각하는 너야 착한 척은 해내 숨 떠나네 곧장 내게로 간 말을 꺼낼래 이런저런 고민하지 마 몸에 좋은 건 원래 더 쓰니까 성보다 충동적이어야 해난 딱 감고 넘어가줘 She's in the trap 너의 심장을 탓탓탓 이런 trap 사랑에 빠질 땐 우연인 척 연기할래 네 취향을 저격 I'm gonna make your mind 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 내게 빠졌어 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 덫에 걸렸어 넌 내게 빠졌어 매력에 빠진 걸 Cheese
So is she mousy? She is a little mousy, isn't she? But okay, cheese in the trap. So okay, it's trying to catch somebody, right? Like there's a love interest, and you're sort of trying to draw that person in until you can catch them. Cheese in the trap. Yeah. Totally unexpected, right? Like this is more of a pop punk kind of a song. It's a really nice, fast driving sort of rhythm. Pretty standard drum rhythm that's being used here. There's a couple of fills, of course, moving in between sections. There's some rhythm guitar work of that punk sort of power chord style. And then there's some lead guitar work as well, though. There's some independent melody lines that are going on. Everything is incredibly fast-paced. yeah, it's a really fast count. She does, of course, even in the like in the first verse when she's singing, the rhythm on it is, it's since it's such an up-tempo song, the way that she's singing those lines is like sing rapping kind of, like if there was more emphasis on the rhythm than on pitch, they'd pretty much be rap lines, right? But there is a melody line that's very consciously being delivered, so it's kind of like sing rapping kind of, but her ability to use rhythm is really, really awesome. Let's see, let me up this. Okay, but yeah, it's such a driving rhythm. The drums are going to facilitate a lot of that drive. Just the sort of hits on the 2 and 4. You also have a little sort of grouping around the 4th beat and 4N, and so that kind of pulls you back through each measure, going back up to the 1 whenever that first downbeat comes around. But it's it's an interesting song. The little retard cheese in the trap, when it kind of slows down there a little bit, it's tricky, man. It's a tricky count. Far more upbeat and colorful, Okay, so a bass hit, boom. At the same time, there's a sort of buzzy synth riser that's going on, and then a very heavily compressed rhythm guitar track that lets up on the compression as it sort of goes through that phrase. Very common, right? Like, is this a way that many songs start, with a sort of heavily compressed. Sometimes it's the entire mix, or sometimes it's only certain parts of the mix. Like in this case, it's this guitar rhythm part that's going, and so you have this sort of muffled sound at the beginning that kind of grows and swells until it's sort of clear, but it's very, very concise here. Like, as soon as you can hear it, Polaroid sound, right? And then we'll move into the actual track. The percussion is very punchy, incredibly punchy. Definitely for the pop punk type of style that's going on here. Little things like that pop, right? That little it's fun. It just that's just like a random thing that's in there, but it's really cool because most of the mix drops out, and then you just get that little, and it's very fun. This is very playful. Like, she's being incredibly playful with this song, but you can hear that sort of rhythmic intensity right in the first verse that she sang there, and it's very just indicative of her style, right? And that she's so good at delivering in the rhythmic sense, right? Pre-chorus build up, drum fill. Okay, wait a minute. I want to try and get this count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. So it feels like the last beat, right, is where the retard actually occurs. It's not the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that's where the actual like intentional slowing occurs, and then it comes back in very strong on that next downbeat. there was a synth arpeggiator that was going on in the left side there, right after that, the little slowdown part, and then into that next phrase there, the chorus part. You can hear this very digital sounding synth arpeggiator going on in the left, incredibly fast. Like that is on the 16th note rhythm, and it's ridiculously fast. It's like a drum fill. It's such an upbeat song. So now she's got it's a great rhythm on it. Like she's really playing around with the space over this like very straightforward 4 count that's going on, but it was incredible. First beginning of the phrase, right, we sort of establish a sequence, and then by the end it gets a lot more syncopated and intricate, right? It's a much more intense, it's a more extended line that's all connected together. There's some interesting synth hits that are sort of sprinkled across the mix, the arpeggiator being one of those sounds. Then there's like another, almost like a synth xylophone or something. It's a little trill type of like brrrt, and it's just randomly in there. Like there's a lot of fun random sounds that are just tossed into the mix, but it's so colorful. Like this is an extremely colorful song. There it is. It was a nice descending line at the end there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Drum fill. Arpeggiator. So bridge section, right? A lot of the mix drops out. We don't have those driving guitar rhythms or even the drums. Instead it becomes much more laid back bass sound with a lot of sustain on it, some little double stop kick hits here, boom boom, and then even her delivery on it, right? She's actually got an incredible tone. The chorus sections, right, when she's really singing out those chorus lines, there are some sort of rounded vowel sounds that have such great body to them. Like her tone is so awesome. It's in a really interesting sort of range, right? It's not too low, but it's also not too high. Like, she does have these little peaks in here, these little sort of high notes or upward inflections, but the main sort of like naturally healthiest and fullest part of her vocal tone is it's really pleasant to hear, but it's also an interesting sound. Like it's in a very interesting place. It's not as high as a lot of other sort of female K-pop vocal, right, lines where they have to have like a very full sound at a relatively high pitch. But this is so in such of that middle space, right? And it's actually a really interesting sound, and it's really nice too, man. I mean, like when she wants to sing, she can sing. Oh, the trumpets? I'm hearing like brass almost. Yeah. There's like a buzzy, almost trumpet sound, but it's real sporadic. It's just playing a little double stop. Burr, 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 burr. It's incredibly buzzy though. Like it's kind of a little bit hidden in there, like the distorted guitar and the synth that's going on, the punchiness of the percussion, but it's in there. I think I hear it mostly panned to the right. It's just a little accent. It's a little double stop trumpet grouping, and it's just to accent the beat, but it's really like interesting. It's surrounded by all these other sounds, but it still peaks out just enough, right, to be able to hear it.
She is in the trap. 이런 trap 사랑에 빠질 때 우연인 척 연기할래 네 취향을 저격 I'm gonna make your mind 넌 어제 걸렸어 넌 내게 빠졌어 넌 어제 걸렸어 넌 어제 걸렸어 넌 내게 빠졌어 취향을 저격 매력에 빠진 걸 Cheese.
Oh man, that was awesome. That was one of the most fun songs that I've heard. You know, it was fun. It was a blast from the start to finish. She's got a fantastic sense of rhythm. Like, I mean, that's why she's, you know, the main rapper in MAMAMOO. But when she wants to sing, man, she could sing, and she has like a really awesome voice. It's very unique. Of course, you can hear it in MAMAMOO songs, right? Like depending on what the song is, and there are some great harmonies in the group's songs. So you know, definitely. But like being able to just hear her, right? Even though the mix is very busy, there's a lot of different sounds going on. Almost non-stop, right, with a couple of sections here and there where some of it drops out, but it's incredibly busy. But it's got some really bright, colorful. This is one of the most colorful songs that I've heard like in a while. I'm talking rich color, like rich, strong, vibrant color. Her own vocal tone becomes almost like the foundation of the song, meaning a lot of these higher pitched things, even the guitar tone, right? A lot of the guitar tone kind of sits at or above the sort of vocal tone that she has. And man, so it works out really well the way she uses rhythm, right? Because of sitting towards that low mid section, it just works. It just fits together like very, very well for this mix overall. It wasn't what I was expecting exactly. It's like the whole pop punk type of song style, you know. So, you know, oh, okay, this is something different altogether. But you know, right from the start, and it's very, very driving and fun. Like it's super engaging, and she's very, very like masterful at rhythm. She has a fantastic sense of rhythm and the control on it. Even that little retard on the cheese in the trap line, right? The cheese in the trap. Like there's it has to be done very much in time, right? In that the part where you slow down has to wait for that fourth beat, right? And it's a legato line, cheese, and there's kind of a downward inflection there, sort of slides down, cheese, and then starts to come back up in the trap, right? It has to be on that fourth beat on trap where you actually like really slow down and try to expand the space that is occurring in just one beat in the measure. And then when it comes back in with the actual chorus section, you know, the punchiness of the drums, the rhythm guitar that's going on, the little synth arpeggiator, right? All these things start going so fast and like completely in time. So it becomes this really fun, like almost slingshot, right? Like it pull you and then boom, right? It just releases. It just lets go into that chorus line. So it's really fun, man. That's what makes it like really just a blast to vibe to, you know. But she's really cute. She's got those puffy cheeks, and this was just fun, you know. She's got an awesome voice though, really. But that's MAMAMOO. As you know, from my experience, MAMAMOO, they're just like, they're an incredible group with some of the best vocals that are around, like the best vocals that you can find. And it's really interesting to be able to just hear that one member of the group singing, you know what I mean? Like to sort of, the closest you get to like isolated vocals, or like I just want to hear this voice. You have the rest of the track, but you can totally like pick up on the tone quality of the one voice out of the group. And so man, but it makes sense. It's, you know, that part absolutely makes sense, just because the group is they're such a vocal powerhouse. Like they're really have some incredible songs. The stuff I've heard from MAMAMOO, but it's some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever heard. And because they have a fantastic range across the group. You have members like Moon Byul who have such a fantastic sense of rhythm and such great control, and it's really important to the overall sound. But this is fun, man. It's a very smart mix. Just, you know, it's pretty straightforward. So some of those fundamental aspects, as far as like the percussion, the rhythm guitar, that stuff is exactly what it needs to be, right? To sort of hold up the style of the song here. And then everything else, those little synth samples and sounds that are like sprinkled around it, the decision to intentionally slow the rhythm at that pre-chorus line, at the end of that pre-chorus phrase, there's these little things, right, that really take it to the next level. But the color and the energy throughout the entire song, it just stays like very high, and it's a really fun track. Man, that was cool. Like I think the last time that I heard something was MAMAMOO Plus. I think it's going back to like the Chico Malo song. That's very much, you know, a lot of the rap styling that's going on there. That's totally different from this, right? But so, you know, going to this now, right, I was like, whoa, this is incredibly different, but it's really fun. Like, it's so much fun, man, from the start to finish. Moon Byul of MAMAMOO with Cheese in the Trap. It's a fun title. I was like, Cheese in the Trap, like what the heck, you know? It's so random. It's like, what? But once you hear the song, then it makes sense. Oh, okay. Rock and roll, Cheese in the Trap. Man, it was fun. It's interesting to see that she, as the main rapper, actually enjoys and appreciates the sort of, you know, punk rock style, right? Like so much. That's fun. That's another thing that makes it so much fun, is that you can tell she had like the time just making the song and writing it and everything, and then actually, you know, recording it, performing it. It's a blast. It really is. Cheese in the Trap, Moon Byul. Man, that this is I gotta listen to some more MAMAMOO. It's been forever. Like it's been so long. So I'll definitely check out some more.